Hey everyone, so Amazon has quietly updated the Fire TV HD10 tablet. And in this video, I'm going to cover the slight improvement they have made from the previous model to this 2019 model right after this. So let's start off by going to the chart. So as far as the screen size, nothing has changed. It's still 10.1 inches and they label it 1080p Full HD. So from the previous model to this model, everything is still the same. Now when it comes down to the resolution, their spec says 1920 by 1200. Now in the real world of 1080p, it's actually 920 by 1080p. So that's where the 1080p come from. It's the last set of numbers. Now Amazon don't have the actual standard specs, but I guess the category it will fall in is 1080p, even though their last set of numbers is 1200. But that hasn't changed on the newer model because it's not like it was an upgrade in the resolution. So between the previous model and the new model, it's still 1080p 1920 by 1200. And it still has the same 224 pixel per inch. The onboard storage on the previous model started out at 32 or 64. And you could expand it up to 256. On the new model, you can start off with either 32 and 64, but this time you can go all the way up to 512 gigabytes. The next category is the CPU and RAM. The previous model was a quad core that was capable of going all the way up to 1.8 gigahertz. And that was paired with 2 gigabytes of RAM. On this model, they doubled the cores. So this time you have octa-core at 2.0 gigahertz and still only paired with 2 gigabytes of RAM. Even though they doubled the core and slightly updated the speed, you still only have 2 gigabytes of RAM, which I think they should have just made it 4 gigabytes to help the system run these apps much better, and so the CPU don't have to do that much work. The battery life on the previous model was capable of going all the way up to 10 hours. And that's all depends on your browsing, you're watching your movies, you're listening to music, just doing the basic stuff. Now doing those same basic stuff on the newer model, you can get up to 12 hours. So you're going to gain an extra 2 hours if you decide to upgrade to this model. The port that you use to charge this tablet on the previous model, it was the micro USB, and that was a 2.0. On this newer model, they decided to upgrade it to USB-C. And while we're on the port topic here that you use for charging, this new model has fast charging. It doesn't come like that straight out the box. You'd have to pay extra for that power adapter to make it possible. Now let's move down to the audio capabilities. On the previous model, it had Dolby Atmos, dual stereo speakers, and built-in microphone. On this new model, same thing. Nothing has changed. Nothing has been upgraded. And of course, you know, on the previous model, you can just call out your voice assistant name and it would just automatically respond. Well, that capability is on the newer model too. And both of them are hands-free, so you don't have to press a button or do anything to the screen. You just call out a name and it automatically responds. Now, the cool thing about the Fire TV tablets, it doesn't matter what size you get, you could choose different colors. It wasn't a wide range of colors, but at least you had the choice between different colors instead of just black and white. The colors on the previous model included black, marine blue, and punch red. On the new model, you have between black, white, twilight blue, and plum. So the only color that carried over from the previous model is the black. Of course, you still get to consume all the contents that Amazon had to offer on the previous model. You know, all the movies and music and stuff like that if you have the Prime account. And that's available on both models. Nothing has changed there. They both have the same 1-year warranty. So within that 1 year, if anything goes wrong, you can get it serviced. If you want that case to protect your tablet, of course that's sold separately, and that's the case on the previous model and this newer model. Now the cameras on these tablets are not the greatest of them all. In my book, I think Amazon could at least pump them up to at least 5 megapixel. On the previous version, it had a front VGA camera. That's not even 1 megapixel. And on the rear, they had a 2 megapixel that could do 720p video recording. Now on this 2019 version, they decided to put 2 megapixels on the front and the back. Kind of sucks because I've seen some cheap phones out there that's cost about $100, 99 bucks, and they come with at least an 8 megapixel camera. So I really think Amazon need to step it up there a little bit. At least put a 5 megapixel on the front. So, you know, you're trying to talk to your relatives, you're trying to look as good as possible. And then put an 8 megapixel on the back so you can do some good scenery shots. Because 2 megapixel is not enough information to get a good quality picture. But that's just my opinion. For connectivity, nothing has changed there. Both of them has the dual band Wi-Fi. As far as the weight of the tablet, the previous version was coming in at 17.7 ounce or 500 grams. This new model is coming in at 17.8 ounces and 504 grams. So a slight difference in weight there, but not great enough to where you're gonna really notice. The outside dimension hasn't changed, and the customer service that they offer for these tablets is still the same also. Okay, so my final thoughts on these tablets. Amazon did a slight upgrade on the processor. Yes, they double it. It's still using the same amount of RAM, so you might see a slight performance boost there, but don't expect a lot. You know, Amazon got a lot of stuff running in the background, especially that ad generator stuff. And yes, that same ad generator stuff is also on the new tablet. And that's with the lower price one. Now, if you pay extra, you can get those ad removes and you don't have to worry about them, which will probably save some battery life. So even though they upgraded the port to USB-C and this new tablet is capable of fast charging, I still believe that it's going to drain your battery down just sitting on your desk or sitting wherever you put it because of those ads constantly running in the background. And the only way to prevent your battery from being drained is to actually turn it off when you're not using it. At least that's what I discovered that I had to do. Now, one thing I'm curious about, now that it has the USB-C, I wonder if it's capable of reading a thumb drive, just like you can on these new iPads with the USB-C. Now, maybe it's not capable, but who knows? Somebody out there might figure out a workaround. Okay, so the way I see it, Amazon didn't design these tablets for the mainstream tablet users. But anybody really can get these tablets if you just use tablet on a lightly basis and you want to have that Amazon voice assistant built into your tablet. Plus you want access to all your Amazon stuff, which you can do from any other Android tablets or the iPad. You just need to go to your particular app store and download these same apps that comes on the Fire TV tablet, and you don't have to worry about purchasing this if you're looking for something with a little bit more performance and still have access to your Prime stuff. Now, I would recommend if you're going for one of these tablets is to spend the extra and get the one without the ads, because you will get a longer battery life because those ads that's running in the background is not draining your battery. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you for taking the time for watching it. I look forward to see you next time. Have a good one.